Right now at noon, a Madison school will soon have a new name. We'll take a look at the final choices and how you can weigh in. Plus, jury selection begins for the man charged in the Highland Park shooting. What a judge decided during a pretrial hearing in regards to witnesses. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Sprider. A Madison Elementary School is closing in on a permanent name, and you will get to have a say. Southside Elementary School, which opened in 2023, is down to these 4 name proposals. Those are Southside Community Elementary, Ada Deer Elementary, Lori Mann Carey Elementary, and Nine Springs Elementary. You can give feedback in person at the next school board meeting. You can also submit a written statement today. We have the details on how to do so on channel3000.com. At least 6 people are without a home this afternoon after an apartment building fire on Madison's south side. Crews responded overnight to a building on Taft Street near Penn Park. They were able to put out the fire, but it destroyed 8 units. Officials are not sure what caused it, but say the smoke alarms were properly working. Jury selection begins today in the Highland Park parade shooting. Robert Cremo is on trial, charged with 7 counts of first-degree murder. Prosecutors say he opened fire on the 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois in 2022. Authorities say the shooter fired more than 70 rounds from a rooftop. Reports say he bought the weapon used in the attack legally, but police records show they had to intervene over threats he made 3 years earlier. Last Thursday, the judge said survivors may attend the full trial.
For them to be there and to have this cathartic experience of watching the whole trial was extremely important, and we're very grateful that the judge entered this motion and that they will be allowed to participate and sit in the trial.
Witnesses typically are allowed to sit in the courtroom once they have testified, but because of this ruling, the witnesses can attend even before they take the stand. The judge cited the Illinois Crime Victims Bill of Rights during her ruling. Prosecutors previously said most of the 48 survivors are planning to testify. The trial is expected to run for at least 4 weeks. Well, it's feeling more like spring than winter right now. First Four meteorologist Blaze Keller has your certified most accurate forecast. Boy, you really don't even need the jacket outside today, Blaze.
No, I just put this on, I think, out of muscle memory. Honestly, it is so nice outside. Peaks of sunshine underneath partly sunny to mostly cloudy conditions. A lot of us in the upper 40s, a few of us in the low 50s. We're at 47 in Madison. We're at 52 in Camp Douglas, 50 in the Dells, 52 in Black River Falls, 45 it looks like there in Mineral Point, Monroe, as well as in Janesville. We're at 50 in Middleton, Sauk City, as well as in Cross Plains. A little bit cooler towards the east, Deerfield, as well as Sun Prairie there coming in at 46 or 47 degrees. We still have a little bit of snow on the ground. We are beginning to move in a little bit more cloud cover, so that is going to limit how much warmer we can get. But with the clear skies earlier today, we were able to really warm on up. Already warmer by about 15 to 20 degrees in the same time yesterday. Easily a very warm day, and it's going to only get really warm from here. We're going to stay warm into your Tuesday and Wednesday. Winds are light, and it looks like out of the south or out of the west-southwest, so we're still moving up that warmer air. We're going to be doing a lot of melting today, upper 40s to low 50s possible. Again, if we can see more sunshine than cloud cover, we could easily slip into those low 50s, which is right around the time that we normally see our first 50 of the year. February 22nd is our first 50-degree day or warmer day in the Madison area, so we're right on time. The warmth sticks around through Wednesday. We got a couple chances for a wintry mix in the forecast. We'll track those out in just a few minutes.
The snow is melting quickly today.
It really is. I'm in a puddle, so I'm going to come inside.
Grab those galoshes. All right, Blaze. See you in a few. Well, today marks 3 years since Russia invaded Ukraine, setting off a deadly and costly war. Many European and world leaders are in Kyiv for a summit to show their support for Ukraine. Meanwhile, President Trump is at the White House meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron to talk about ending the war. Speaking at the Conservative Political Action Conference this weekend, President Trump said he believes he can negotiate an end to fighting, but is also pressing Ukraine for U.S. access to rare earth minerals.
I want them to give us something for all of the money that we put up, and I'm going to try and get the war settled, and I'm going to try and get all that death ended. So we're asking for rare earth and oil, anything we can get.
Over the weekend, Russia launched a record number of drones into Ukraine, destroying infrastructure and killing at least 3 people. Continuing coverage on the health of Pope Francis. According to the Vatican, the pontiff is now showing early signs of kidney failure. The Pope is suffering from double pneumonia, requiring high-flow oxygen and blood transfusions. It comes after suffering a prolonged asthma-like respiratory crisis on Saturday. The Vatican is notoriously tight-lipped, but the Pope has instructed his medical team to be transparent about his health. Well, happening later this evening, I am honored and excited to be part of the Andy North Trivia Night at the Sylvie, raising money for cancer research. News 3 Now is once again a proud sponsor. It is hosted by Andy North. Not only is he a professional golfer, he is a cancer survivor and research champion. In addition to trivia, the lineup includes a silent auction, celebrity appearances, dinner, drinks, and prizes. This event continues to grow year after year. A record $125,000 was raised for cancer research at the event in 2024, and we hope to beat that this time around. Tonight's event is sold out, so stay tuned for more in the years to come, but you can still support the cause right now and help us raise funds for critical research right here in our community. To learn more about how you can help, just go to andynorthandfriends.com. I also have that linked on our website. Happening tomorrow, hundreds of Wisconsin high school students will come together for the annual Youth Unity Summit. It's organized by the nonprofit United Against Hate. The summit consists of talks by state and local leaders. There are also guests who have played a role in combating hate. State Superintendent of Public Instruction Dr. Jill Underly is among the speakers. It will take place at the McFarland Performing Arts Center starting at 9. A second summit is scheduled for this Wednesday at Wisconsin Rapids High School. We have some exciting news to share this afternoon. Channel3000.com is expanding its daily coverage of the Green Bay Packers by adding beat writer Jason Wilde to the team. A familiar name for Packers fans, Wilde has covered the green and gold since 1996 for various outlets, including the Wisconsin State Journal, The Athletic, and ESPN Wisconsin. Wilde will provide free daily reporting for Channel3000.com. He will also continue to host his show with former University of Wisconsin and Packers offensive lineman Mark Tauscher. Still ahead for us this afternoon. If you have a question or concern about your plants or garden, now's the time to send us your questions via email to tips@channel3000.com. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company will join us later in the broadcast with the answers. Again, that is tips@channel3000.com. But first at noon, what movies finished on top of the weekend box office, plus why multiple agencies are telling their employees not to comply to an email sent by the Department of Government Efficiency.
Thousands of federal workers have until tonight to respond to an email asking them to list 5 things they did at work last week. Billionaire Elon Musk, who oversees the White House's Department of Government Efficiency, posted on X that failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. But multiple agency heads have told their employees not to comply, including new FBI Director Kash Patel, who told staff, when and if further information is required, we will coordinate the responses. Lions Magnus is recalling 4-ounce Lions Ready Care and Cisco Imperial frozen supplemental shakes over possible listeria contamination. The shakes were distributed to long-term care facilities and were not for retail sale. This is linked to a bigger recall of products from the company's supplier, Prairie Farms Dairy. According to the FDA, the strain of listeria the products may contain has been associated with at least 38 illnesses and 11 deaths. And Captain America: Brave New World soared to the top of the weekend box office for the second week in a row, raking in more than $28 million domestically. Horror flick The Monkey debuted strong in the second spot with more than $14 million. Family-friendly sequel Paddington in Peru rounded out the top 3 with more than $6 million. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Matt Piper.
Here's the stock report at the noon hour. The Dow is up 190 points, NASDAQ is down 52, and the S&P 500 is up 14. We have the farm numbers straight ahead, plus Blaze returns with the first warn forecast. Then later on Live at 4, we go behind the wheel with Harvey Briggs and one of Madison's favorite cars, the Toyota Prius. Pam Yankey's out of the radio barn today, so here are your farm numbers. A reminder, the Spirit of Service campaign is underway as we honor our local veterans, making a positive impact in the community. News 3 Now is partnering with Vortex. All you have to do is log on to channel3000.com, nominate a veteran in your life doing something good, and we'll be sharing their stories. You'll get a chance to vote and choose which veteran gets to take home a $5,000 cash prize. A winner will be announced in early April. Well, temps are feeling a little bit more like spring out there, and we've got some chances for showers on the way. Meteorologist Blaze Keller has the first warm forecast. Hi, Blaze.
That's right. Showers, maybe a few snowflakes, but temperatures look to be at least warm enough that we skip out on a whole lot of snow. And we've got a couple of systems in the forecast, but they're trending more north. So they're going to take not only the potential for snow, but rain with them as well. Today, we are going to continue to remain probably more cloudy with warm temperatures. Southerly winds still going to keep us on the warmer side. Overnight, we could be dealing with some light rain, especially further to the south. And then we become more sunny as we go into your Tuesday. Another warm day back into the 40s as we make our way closer to the midweek. There's that system Wednesday. This is going to be our first of two big ones that will move through the Midwest. This one has the potential to bring us more of that rain as it moves through beginning Wednesday morning. And then as it begins to exit starting later Thursday, we could see some snow, I would say, mixed in with rain as we look to end Thursday going into your early Friday. But Friday's system continues to trend more northerly. Both the European model and our GFS model are pushing this further north and east. So that means that we'll likely stay warmer through most of this week, not to mention more of that snow and rain is going to be pushed further north and east as well. So this is good news. This is bad news depending on who you ask, but what we'd like to look for as we're looking at weather model data is consistency and trends, not necessarily what one model run is saying, but what are multiple model runs saying, and are we seeing a trend? Because then that's likely what's going to happen versus just one picture, and then we don't look at it again. So as this continues to push off towards the northeast, more of that snow is moving off towards the northeast as well. This is the European model's total snow through at least Sunday, so this would include Wednesday's and Friday's system. More of that snow falling into parts of southern Canada as well as the UP and northern Michigan. So because we're likely not going to feel the impacts of Friday's system and we're going to see less snow from Thursday's system, our temperatures are able to stay in those low to mid 40s because we don't have that snowpack on the ground reinforcing that cooler air. Not to mention we don't pull down any northwesterly winds until we go into the upcoming weekend. Saturday, of course, marking the start of March. We'll be a little bit on the cooler side, but still above freezing. So we're still going to be doing melting. We're not slipping into those 20s or further into those single digits like a couple of weeks ago. So we don't see any big cool downs on the horizon. And these first 50s of the year arriving right around time. February 22nd is when the Madison area typically records its first 50-degree day or warmer. And then from here, we just wait until the end of March to get our first 60-degree day. And then further by May 4th, we should slip into those 80s, or typically that's when we first see our first 80-degree day. So what's going on in the upper levels of the atmosphere? Well, we're sitting underneath northwesterly flow, but the jet stream is just off to our north. We don't feel that cool down until we go into the first weekend of March, Saturday, of course, being the start. And the reason why we're cold is because more of that warmer air is pushing further north into parts of Alaska and northwestern Canada. So that cold air has to be over us. And then as we go further into the start of March, we see the jet stream kind of push its way southward a little bit, but we're still tapping into maybe some mild days here and there. So back into the 50s we go today. Again, it is going to be a little bit more difficult for some of us, but with the cloud cover and southwesterly winds, it's not out of the question, but I would say if we don't get into the 50s, probably here within the next hour, we'll hang out in the upper 40s. A little bit cooler tomorrow, but we're still in those 40s with that rain snow chance Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then as I've mentioned, as we kick off March, we will be back into the 30s with a couple rain snow mix chances by the middle of that first week of the new month.
Oh, it feels so good outside.
It really does. I got my Crocs on and that was a mistake because I stepped in a puddle, but it is so nice outside.
Yeah, you really got to dodge the puddles outside.
Yes, you do.
All right, Blaze, thank you. Well, today Howard is in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen showing us how to mix up what to expect at the dinner table.
If your dinner routine is getting a little too routine, then we have just the thing to mix it up. It's an overstuffed homemade Italian stromboli that'll have everybody running to the table. Come on, let me show you. It starts by unrolling a refrigerated pizza crust onto a cutting board. Now comes the fun part. We layer on some sliced ham, and that can be Italian style or whatever's on sale. Sliced pepperoni, smoked provolone cheese, and some roasted red peppers that we've drained really well. We sprinkle this with Italian seasonings and a bit of garlic powder before rolling it up jelly roll style. Then we put it on a baking sheet and finish it with some Parmesan cheese before popping it in the oven. The nice thing about this is there are no rules, so feel free to change up the meats and cheeses. When this comes out of the oven, call the troops to the table and divvy it up. Maybe have a bowl of marinara sauce for Duncan. To get the recipe for our Italian hoagie stromboli, simply use your phone, tablet, or computer to check out our website.
I love anything with pizza crust.
Me too. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with Kelly, where today we found a pizza parlor way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Ahead at noon, Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and garden questions. Email them to tips@channel3000.com, and we'll get the answers next. Welcome back at noon. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and garden questions. You can email them to tips@channel3000.com. And we're thinking spring thoughts out there today, right?
We certainly are. It's kind of warm. It's perfect pruning weather.
Oh my gosh, yeah, finally, right? It's like that spring of deception, though. We know it's not going to stay.
Yeah, that is one of the nine rules of spring here in Wisconsin.
We know that in Wisconsin. What do you have here? This looks nice and springy.
Primrose. This is English primrose. Comes in a lot of really bright colors. It's a perfect windowsill plant for this time of year because it's really bright and cheerful and lasts a lot longer than if you had some forced bulbs.
Oh, good.
And they can be hardy in the right spot. So if you keep it going, you can plant it out in your yard in a shady kind of spot, and you stand a reasonable chance of getting it to come back.
It's nice to give us a little color this time of year when everything's just kind of blah.
I love the yellow ones, but they come in pink and white and lavender, so.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the questions here at noon. We're going to start with Aaron from Fitchburg. Aaron asks, we got a puppy this fall. What plant should we make sure to remove or avoid planting in our yard this spring? That's a good question.
That is a very good question, and it is a question that is best answered, I think, by our plant desk. We have a list of garden plants and house plants that are safe for pets, cats and dogs, because that's usually what people ask about. And it's much more a question usually for us about houseplants, because animals are more likely to chew on things in your house where they spend a lot more time than outside. But check with our plant desk. It's plantdesk@brucecompany.com. And we have our email back. All of our files should be restored by the end of this week, so we'll be able to retrieve and email it back to you.
Oh, it's been a mess, I know, for you guys.
It has been a mess. We're not the only ones in town, but yikes.
Yeah, back to normal, though. That's good.
Back to normal soon, yes.
Good. All right, well, R in Janesville asks that he's aware of how the gypsum is recommended for soil compaction. They live on a mostly clay and have spread gypsum in the middle of summer. They're wondering if it was counterintuitive to put it in the ground while the ground is wet with the snow melt. If areas are almost solid clay, is there any injection method other than to aerate and then spread?
I think aerating and spreading is the better way to go if your soil is really heavy. Just spreading gypsum on really heavy clay on the surface is going to probably do a lot more to sweeten your soil and make it more alkaline than it would be here anyway. In Wisconsin, we have fairly alkaline soil, and gypsum is often used as an amendment to soil to sort of, dog urine is one thing that they use it for, to sort of neutralize the acidity in the soil. So I would say that you would, if you're just spreading a little bit on there, you should water it in. So maybe during the hot part of the summer when it was kind of dry was not harmful, but counterintuitive. So best case scenario is to rent a sprayer or get some of those snazzy little sandals with the big spikes.
Oh, yeah.
Walk around and then spread the gypsum so it gets into the soil.
All right, we got like 15 seconds,
Okay.
but Carrie asks, when is the best time to prune shrub roses?
I would wait, Carrie, until the shrub roses start to show growth and then cut back to an active bud that is facing outward from the center of the plant. So we're talking, depending on the weather, maybe April.
There we go. Good questions, Lisa. As always, thank you. Let's go to Blaze with a final check of your forecast.
And the 40s are still still here, approaching the upper 40s to low 50s in some spots. Some of us are in the 50s right now, so it is going to be a beautiful day. Cloud cover is going to maybe inhibit some of us from getting into those 50s, but it's still going to be a warm day regardless. And we got a few more warm days. In fact, all this week in the low to mid 40s with a couple rain, snow mix chances. I say the best chance is probably going to be Wednesday into Thursday.
Thanks for joining us.